Three. Editing. And one. January 26, 2020. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
Well, welcome to Comes Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, episode number 541. And, well, 2020 started off great. I ever mentioned that, well, I like having a car because it gets me to places. I'm not a car person.
I think you've mentioned that once or twice.
Yeah. So, Afterglow, my Saturn Ion 2006, died this past week or so. So, I need to get a new car. So, as part of my shopping, I'm like, okay, well, I don't really have people that I can rely on to help me, like, drive me around and do car shopping, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll rent a car. What I didn't realize is because all I have is my debit card, not a credit card, debit card, that when I rent, they add on, when they do the authorization, they add on an additional $200 beyond that authorization. So, when I found the new car that I got, haven't named him yet, but I only needed basically the car for that day, but by the time I was really done with anything, they were already closed because it was a Saturday. So I couldn't just, like, drive back, return the car. And when I put my deposit down, I didn't have the full $500 in my account because there was this authorization for $200 more than the estimated cost that they had given me. So I had to pay some of that in cash, which was, fortunately, I had because I had basically sold my old car to salvage. Basically, everybody was telling me it's too expensive to fix it. It's not worth it. Time to salvage it. So I paid that with cash, and then I applied for a loan. Turned the car a day early because I'm like, shit, I need those funds available because $0 in my checking account doesn't work for me. So I applied for the loan. Got word back on Monday because the bank wasn't open during the weekend. And they said, you don't really have a credit history. So we can't approve your loan.
Oh, no.
So I tell my dad, tell him the remainder amount of what I need for the car, which I'm just getting I was getting something that's like, you know, like $5,500. I already paid $500 for that one. I'm not trying for anything fancy or anything. So I tell my dad, and I'm expecting him to maybe, I didn't specifically mention it, but I was thinking maybe if he co-signed for a car or for a loan for me, everything would be hunky-dory, right? couple hours later, I get a message from my dad saying there should be $5,000 in your checking account. And there was. I could get my car.
Holy shit.
So, a friend from work, after she was done from work, because she worked on Monday and I didn't, but after she was done, she picked me up and took me to get my brand new car, and I drove my brand new car home. So I got a brand new car. 2015 Mitsubishi Mirage. Nothing fancy. This is the itty bitty hatchback. And no cruise control, no automatic lights, which is one thing I liked about my old car is I'd turn it on, and if it's had a light sensor so that it would turn the lights on itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to do that myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, really hard.
Oh my God, so hard. Well, it's going to take some getting used to.
Do I really care about that? Not really. I just need to remember to do it.
Yeah.
Depending on what it's like during the day. And there's no cruise control, which is another thing that I kind of miss. Because there's just times where literally all I need to do is cruise. And I don't really kind of want to manage my speed with the gas pedal or anything. Just laziness, because I'm been so used to, for all the time that I've ever owned a car, I've I have had cruise control, so something to get used to. But I'm getting used to it. It's fine. I mean, there's basically been no problems or anything with it. So it's not the greatest car in all the world, but it's a vehicle. It's clean. It's relatively new. It's kind of cool that I can set a temperature on my climate control system and hit auto, and it will automatically try to maintain that temperature. Which is weird,
Nice.
which is kind of weird to me. Instead of just like turning a knob to a temperature and adjusting the fan, it does all that itself. So it's kind of cool, and it's a hatchback. Well, I went grocery shopping today, and it was kind of cool to just like pop open my back, just like a little hatchback. I don't know. It was weird to like, put my groceries in the trunk of my Ion. So, but this way it didn't feel as weird. I don't know why. But it's a cute little thing, in gray instead of gold. But yeah.
And
right now I'm pinching pennies because I just got paid, but I need most of that for my rent that's being this weekend, and then I still have another week before I get paid again. So, popcorn dinners. I'm gonna have soup here and there. I did get the ingredients for chili. Got a thing of spaghetti sauce because I got spaghetti, but I didn't have any sauce or anything for it. So I have plans. I've got some soups. Normally I put milk in it, but I decided to skip the milk. I'll just go with the regular tomato soup. I can use water for that. It's just not as good. So,
I'll pinch those pennies.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And I have determined that really I didn't need to rent that car to begin with. It was nice. It was nice to have since I had it before I went to take a look at the car and get the down payment and everything on it. I was able to drive myself to Applebee's and use my Applebee's gift card, and that was delicious. So there were kind of some plus sides to it, but was it worth it? Not really.
Yeah.
Well,
renting cars. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Jeff, that hindsight is 2020. Like,
yeah.
You had asked on Facebook beforehand, like, should I rent a car or should I just like do ride sharing, like Lyft or Uber or something of that sort? And so people kind of chimed in with their answers, and I think it was a mixed bag because it's a matter of like, do you want the independence to come and go as you please from dealership to dealership and stuff like that, or did you want to like be reliant on a service of some sort? In the end, looking backwards, you could absolutely say, oh, it would have been way cheaper to like go with a rideshare because you've only would have done like X amount of stuff. But you don't know that. Like when my car died last summer and I had to get the transmission, or sorry, the engine replaced, it's like, at first I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And then I was like, oh, duh, there's ride sharing now. Like, because the cab service in our city is gone. They went belly up after ride share came in. So I was like, okay, I can sort of get by. But then I was like, damn it, like I need a vehicle for like 3-4 days. And I got dad and he has a wheelchair. Like, I mean, there's just all this stuff. And I was like, screw it. So I just ended up renting a vehicle. So, I mean, I think it's difficult to gauge in the moment what's going on. Now that you know what you know, absolutely looking backwards, it could be like, oh, it would have been way cheaper to do that. But you didn't know that at the time, and there's no way to predict the outcome.
And there was a couple of factors that I probably should have weighed a little bit more. Like, I found the car online based off of everything I was reading on it. It was basically I just needed to test drive it, and I was pretty much already sold. So So I did my shopping online, but still want to like drive it a little
get there,
bit,
move around, renting cars has always been odd because I know when I did, I'm trying to think, we rented a car to go to Roseland a few years ago because at the time Jim had his car and it wasn't in the greatest. Like, it wasn't great. Like, it was working, but it wasn't working 100%. And we weren't sure we wanted to rely on it. So we ended up renting a car. And I remembered that whole hold because they did that to us, too. And I was a little mad because it essentially meant, like, I could not use my debit card when we were in Roseland because I had some money, but it was like I had set aside the money to obviously pay for where we were staying when we were there. But that was like it. Like I may not have had maybe a little bit more than that to get, there. And I'm like you, I think at the time I was getting paid weekly. So I wasn't as bad, but like renting the car and then holding on to that money for whatever reason that they hold on to it for. I'm assuming for
and from my understand, they only do that for debit cards.
Yeah, that's
so
what I mean.
If you use an actual credit card, they wouldn't.
Yeah. Like I had a debit card only at the time. I haven't had I only recently got a credit card other than like my Macy's like card. This is my first time actually having an actual credit card. So I've always used my debit card because I didn't want credit card and only recently have I gotten one. So again, that was the thing. Like you don't really know that until you get there and they either tell you or they read the fine print. So yeah, and I agree. I agree with Gary that it's always going to be a hindsight thing where shit, that maybe that wouldn't have been a good idea. So, but now you know.
Yeah.
So maybe
I've accepted it, and I'm just looking at it as like, well, if I ever need to do this in the future, I just need to think of these things. So
well, and one of the like, I guess adult lessons, not that none of us are adults, but like for anyone in the audience listening or watching or whatever, like it can be difficult to rent a car, especially when you're younger, because I think you have to be at least 26, 28 or
25.
something. Yeah. So the credit card thing is a piece of that whole business protectiveness. So like I went through this a couple years ago with Drenched Fur. I went to rent a van and had already reserved it, showed up, and they were like, that's not a credit card. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, it has a MasterCard logo. And they're like, right, but it's a debit account. Like, and we can't utilize that. And just outright refused. And I was like, excuse me? I was livid. And so like, and even though I had credit cards, like, there wasn't going to be a card to cover for the rental plus, whatever the deposit and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right.
So my thoughts on it for people is like, if you were to able to consider to getting yourself a credit card and you don't have one at all, even if you just get one card and you get what's called a secured card, where in essence you give them money and they hold it so that it creates the credit account, even if it's just $100, you at least have something and it sort of establishes. So you can slowly kind of build something, and then later down the road, like if you have to, you could do this trick. You can put like your credit card in a box of water and freeze it and just like kind of forget about it for an emergency day fund. I mean, like there's different aspects of things. And I've been blessed of recent that I have availability to me, especially through like my dad and I've become his financial like responsible party. So like he for many, many years has had me on his credit card accounts, and that's literally what saved me with my car. Because I've like have, that kind of money just sitting around on a bank account. But ever since then, I've been a little bit more cautious, like in trying to put some money away in savings. So just little things like that, to help out.
And also just to kind of, I keep talking about it, things, credit cards are also good when you're traveling out of state and something goes wrong. Because again, trying to rent a car. So back in I'm sorry, things just came into my mind. Back in February last year or 2 years ago, when Jim had his car accident down in Louisville, we needed to. His car was totaled, like it wasn't going anywhere. So we needed a rental car to get home, and because both of us lived out of state, we could not use our debit cards to rent the car.
Oh.
Yeah. So fact, everyone. And neither of us at the time had credit cards. So we were not able to rent the car that way. We ended up having to work with my mom to get the rental car in order to get home. It was an experience because essentially she had to make I won't go into it right now, but just like she essentially had to rent the car for us to then use and then drop off here in Cincinnati, because neither of us could really use one because we didn't have in-state debit cards.
Right.
So,
and something else is a side fact, which Damon, I'm sure you and Jim learned painfully, is one-way rentals are more expensive than round-trip rentals, which make no sense. Like from a customer perspective, you're like, what the hell does it matter whether I bring the car back to where I got it from or if I end up in another place? But if you price shop and you put in like return to origin round trip, or if you do one-way and then you price it for the same amount of days, it's more expensive to one-way in. Which it's like, okay, aren't you all in the rental business? Like, isn't this what you do? Like, yeah.
And anyway, so we've run along.
But yeah, if you don't have any credit or don't have some good credit, getting like a secured credit card and like using it for gas just to kind of build up your credit, just pay it off every month. That's what I hear is usually a good idea. I just don't trust myself with credit cards, honestly.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I take it from me, who's like done his credit not good in the past when I was much younger. Like college, horrible, because I was a part of the generation of college where they would just be on campus and they'd be like, "Do you want a free credit card?" And you're like, "Sure." And they're like, "Fill out this thing," and you just fill it out, and then the next thing you know, you get like a $200 or $300 credit card, and you're like, "Oh, I got books to pay for," or "I want to go party with my friends on the weekend," or "I want to buy like everybody's late night meal after drinking at Denny's." Not that I did any of those things. So and then you graduate college, and you graduate with, let's see, a Discover card, a Sears card, an MBNA MasterCard, a Citibank card. And what the hell else did I have? I had like 5 or 6. When I graduated college, like I already had student loan debt, and then I also had a bunch of credit card debt. And so, like, yeah, 22 decades ago, my like credit stuff was a complete mess. And then I like really kind of cracked down on it quite a bit over the years, and like closed accounts and like, repaid stuff and did a bunch of things and went through credit counseling programs. Like, and I'm by no means perfect now. I have a couple of cards, they afford me some things, but I'm also paying towards them, and like things are okay. You know, I'm not in a dire situation. I'm also not in a perfect situation, as like all the financial advisors say, where you should have like up to 5 to 6 months of income squirreled away just in case something disastrous happens. I am not in that situation either. So
I'm nowhere near that situation.
yeah, well, my being unemployed
No.
unexpectedly really kind of like caught up with me in a way. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
anyways.
Oh
Yeah,
Len.
so that's my month. Ended up with a new car and pinching pennies like you wouldn't believe.
Yes. Pinch those pennies. There you go.
Okay, have a penny. On.
Um,
Penny pinch, penny.
there you go. For me, it's really been back to the grind, as it were. Men's chorus stuff started right at a week after New Year's Eve, our New Year's Day. We're doing our God Save the Queens concert, which is based on like it's Brit pop and British invasion music that has come, to the States. And that's kind of been fun and a lot of work for me as well. Just again, like grinding through the day as much as I can. It's been pretty normal. Like Jim is now done with Winterfest and all of his normal like December stuff. So he's working downtown with me in a different space, but he's working downtown with me. So we're now able to go to work and come home together. And that's kind of nice. That's been really sweet actually, because that saves me a lot on taking buses to work. We are gearing up for NAB. That's one of the trips we usually do together, which will be in February. And that's really it for now. Pretty low key right now. January's, I think, a very odd transitioning month for me.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing for January's.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Gary?
Yeah. All right, so new adventure and then the ironic sickness. For those of you that have probably kind of heard me make reference to this, I have been in pursuit of a new job for the past few months, because the job that I have been working full time will not cover all my bills. Yes, I am in my 40s and I am still paying my student loans. So I got those put on forbearance for a year due to financial difficulty for all of 2019 last year. And January 1st, they started up again. So, yeah, so that's a couple $100 a month that I needed to come up with. So as the universe has it, I got a new job for not quite 50% more pay, much better benefits. And I started last Tuesday.
Yay!
Yay! Wait for it.
Yeah. So what do you do now, Gary? Well, I kept my old job. I'm working it part-time in the evenings because it's not that much of a pay increase to cover all my bills. So I'm working part-time 4 nights a week, 3 hours, roughly about 10 to 12 hours a week. So in essence, like at the end of a month, I've made like one normal pay week of money, which is fine. So it gives me enough padding. It basically that covers my student loan bill, which I have another X number of years to pay off on. But so my new job, it's something that I was aware of for a little while, and I've been interested in pursuing it. And then lo and behold, I got it. And now I'm learning what I have to do it because it's not something I've done before. Um, to give everyone a little bit of background, I went to college to be a music educator because I had been in marching band for 5 years in high school and I wanted to be a band director. So I pursued a Bachelor of Arts in music education. I nearly flunked out in my first year because it's college. You suddenly become an adult. I was not necessarily going to be responsible. I was struggling with coming out initially. I did come out, and then I was around all the gays, and the gays like to party. And I was not one for partying, but I wanted to be around them because I wanted to be social. And then I discovered D&D, and that took up like about 4 months of my time and nearly flunked me out of college. That was fun.
Oh my God, girl.
Yeah. and then I also realized I didn't want to be that version of a music educator. Like I had not thought this whole thing through. Like band director is just one role. Like usually in most school systems, the music teacher, the music educator is the concert band, is the marching band, is the pep band, is the you name it, like wears 7 different hats kind of a thing. And so I quickly learned that like to eat, sleep, drink, and defecate music was not my gig because I liked music, but I didn't like it that much. And I tell people this, like when they ask me about, my journey, and I was like, when I knew I needed to get the hell out of Dodge was the end of the first year. Was it Music Comp 101 or something? On the finale, there's a question, something to the effect of, we spent one whole semester studying one piece of music. Okay. At the end of it, when we got to the finale, one of the questions was, so the oboe comes in the third movement in X number measure on what note?
Oh, jeez.
Right. Because we were supposed to have studied this thing forwards, backwards, inside out, the whole thing, like we had written it. And I was like, no, this is not cool, not kosher, not good in my book. That's a no, girl.
This is not my gig, sis. This is not my gig, sis.
So I kind of knew then that I probably needed to make some changes and stuff, but I didn't actually change my major until after the third semester when I almost, again, got close to flunking out. And my professor in college, God bless Dr. Bird, may he rest in peace, he actually called me up because as a music ed or as a music student, you had to go for private, like one-on-one lessons every single week and stuff. And I was never practicing and was not really interested because it just wasn't in me. It wasn't part of my passion and stuff. And so I came in. I hadn't even played a note. I had just gotten the instrument out. And he knew by the way I was doing things that I had not practiced in a week, if not 2 weeks. And he said, please stop. Put the instrument back in the case. And do not insult me with making an attempt to play that in front of me right now. Right. And I was mortified because he called my shit out. And he was like, I don't know what's going on in your life, but what I can tell is that music is not your passion. You have not really much interest in it. Something has changed with you, and you are not taking this seriously. So I cannot take you seriously that you are going to come in and spend an hour to an hour and a half of my time expecting me to just put up with whatever it is you're going to present me with, when you have not done the decency and the dignity of respecting all of my years of work in music and all of the effort that I have put in and all the people that I have like assisted over the years. So just
Gary.
don't. Oh yeah. Like he laid it down. And I felt this big, like I was supposed to.
Yes.
But it was a huge moment. Like it was a clarion call in my life. Like Dr. Bird basically was like, you are not happy and you are not going to like continue to do this in my house. Like, no, sir. Yep. So I had to kind of reevaluate my life. And I changed my major within about 5 times mentally within about 2 weeks. And eventually made one final selection and went with hotel restaurant management because I'd always sort of worked in hospitality type jobs. And I liked it. And I was like, well, this is a career. This is a thing. So that's what I did. And I spent another 3.5 years in college, and that's what I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in that. So, ta-da, Garrett goes off into the big blue yonder. Not really. And I worked in that field for a couple of years, and then I burned out because hospitality is a lot of, this is the way I describe it to people. You spend a lot of your time making other people's happy times happen, like take place. So you are serving them the meals, you are taking care of their things, you are like mostly working at the times when the majority of people are not working. So you work a lot of evenings, you work a lot of weekends, you like attend a lot of weddings and celebrations, but not necessarily your own or other people's. And that wore on me. And what kind of broke me towards the end was two of my best friends from college, I don't know why, from the same hometown within my state, which is hours away from me, got married 1 week apart. And I had requested to be off so I could go to both weddings. Luckily, yeah, I was not in either wedding party. And so the manager / owners of the restaurant I was working at, the last one I actually did work for, was like, nope, you get one, pick one. And that was kind of it. So I only went to one of the weddings, and I was really kind of put off by that. And then I really started thinking, and I was like, I need to get the hell out of Dodge. This is just not working for me in this field. And I don't regret it, and I don't miss it. And college was a great 5 years for me, and it gave me many valuable things. So then I left and I went into telecommunications because I needed a job and I got to pay bills. And then I did that for almost 15 goddamn years. Like, as a career thing, I became an instructor, a trainer, and did design and development. I did that for a long time. So then, the layoff comes and I'm not doing that. And then I turn around and spend a year not doing anything. I had been blessed with a severance and some unemployment, and that got by for a while, and then it didn't. And all things kind of went like sideways, and I went through a massive depression and all sorts of shit, and consequently was like, okay, I just need to work. So I turned back to telecommunications, and that's what I've been doing for the past almost a year. In the meantime, I was like, let me see what else there is to pursue. And I have been kind of prodded by some individuals to consider going to work for the Department of Health of the county because I had been a volunteer with the HIV task force for a number of years. And so I was going to apply last fall for this almost this exact same position. And I was kind of given the heads up that somebody else was going to probably internally bid for it because all the positions are union in the county. And I was like, okay, I know what that means. Like, I don't have a chance because I'm not already part of. And that's not fair to say, but the reality is they would bump me basically. So I kind of pulled back from a little bit, but I did apply for something back in December. This is over a year ago. Or no, I applied in September for something. And then it took all the way till December till I got an interview. Sorry, Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And then got the notice a couple weeks later in December that I didn't get the job. And it was a trainer position, but it was with what we call Office of Children and Youth. I was game for it. And I felt good about it because it was in my wheelhouse, even though it was something different and new, but I understood what they were trying to do, utilize computer systems, all this kind of stuff. What I didn't have was a caseworker, social worker background. And I don't think that was a defining issue for them, but so fast forward to this year and I get notified. Only this time, lots of people come forward and they're like, hey, did you see the posting? About the da-da-da-da? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you should put in for it. Hey, so maybe if you believe in angels or, Yahweh and God and all the rest of the greater whatever in the universe, it was like I was just kind of being told, it's kind of like when you're wandering and then you see a sign and it was kind of like, go there. And I was like, oh, all right, I guess I should fill out this thing, And so lo and behold, I am now the new HIV disease intervention specialist for the county. So, yeah.
Okay.
So here's what it comes down to. The position has been empty for a half a year. It's a grant-based program. We're a year and a half into 3 years, and the state is not happy with where things are right now.
Yay.
Right. So I spent 4 days going through lots of training. Oh, God. Training. training that has problems, and it's not their fault. Not my employer's fault. Let me put it that way, because it's training required by It's required by the state, by the CDC, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all sorts of things, and there's going to be some travel coming up for me, which is okay and good and all that jazz. So I have my own office, which is in dire straits of like some decoration.
Do you need the gays to come and clear up and cut like like woo.
Yes. Well, no, I could do it myself. I'm gonna do Wong Fu this son of a bitch. Trust me. Like, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about when they show up at the motel. Because all right, so the nurse for this grant program, Lisa, who I'm already familiar with over the years, she's now my new work wife. The two of us are the main individuals that are employed because of this grant program. So she's the medical side of things, and I'm the pretty much everything not medical in a way. So while there's marketing and promotion and outreach and education and all that, which, you know, I'm totally down for, a lot of that's already been underway. So we've already checked those boxes. But where I'm coming in is I have to do what's called navigation services, which is basically assisting individuals with other things that may affect their actual care. So if you think of it this way, like individuals and populations who end up seroconverting and becoming positive, part of the key issue is, do they have the support systems to keep them healthy? Mm-hmm. And that's what navigation services is about, is like, do you need assistance with transportation, housing, like food, keeping, you know, a roof over your head, you know, because we don't want you to fall out of care, as we say in the industry. Like, we want you to stay in compliance so that you stay healthy, blah, 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 blah. So, but yeah, so I have an office now, and the office is bare bones. Like, was quite comical. I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. I'm glad that I have my own office. It does not have windows. I don't need windows. Like, I am like grunt bottom of the totem pole. I get it. It's not a big deal. At least it's not in the basement, which is a different part of the health department. Yeah. So
I want to see the Tu Wong Fu montage of your conversion to this bare bones.
Yeah. So
basically, when they do that, if it's the scenes that that I think you're talking about, it's a montage.
Yeah, because it's very like,
it's been a long time since I've seen the movie.
I don't think they play Wonder Woman, but it makes you think of that. And yeah, so they make the space much better than what it was before.
I got it on digital somewhere, so I could just rewatch that later.
Yeah. So that's what I'm in the slow midst of doing, is like, you know, different furniture, probably going to put in a request to paint the walls. I'm going to stop using fluorescent overhead lighting.
Fluorescent lighting.
So that's the new adventure. Sorry I went so long. Now let's talk about the ironic sickness. Gary starts working for the Department of Health on Tuesday. By Friday, now has the ick.
Oh, no.
This sinus thing has been kicking my ass all weekend. It has also been not connected to, but accompanied by a gastrointestinal thing.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, no.
All right. So, like, I'm just going to put it this way. If anyone's ever had a colonoscopy and you kind of know how frequently you and your toilet become acquainted with each other, it's sort of been my weekend.
Oh, Lord.
So
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sympathetic apology.
If you're a bottom who cleans out a lot, you can also probably like understand. But the truth is, it has just kicked my ass this weekend. Like, I have been so tired. I was so cranky yesterday. My best friend gets a hold of me and is like, "Hey, can I talk to you on the phone?" I was like, "Sure." I'm in the car. I was on my way home from Lowe's because I had a whole another adventure trying to fix a chair. Anyways, long story. And she's like, "How are things?" And I spent, I swear, 30 to 40 minutes just MFing and like talking lots of negativity, venting a whole tons of things about stuff that had happened through the course of the week, including through that day and how I had been sick. And I finally said, "I am so sorry that I am super cranky, in a really bad mood and crabby." She said, "It's okay." I was like, "I know," but I said, I don't intend to be that way, but I have reached the end of my rope with
I've reached the
this
end.
thing.
I
So,
have had it. Like,
yeah, that's fair. So,
and
yeah, I've been ill, and
everyone's
so,
aware. I found the scene.
oh, okay.
I found a Tu Wong Fu scene, and it is the Wonder Woman theme, actually.
Mm.
I'm going to share it in the live chat.
Okay.
Yep.
I can't.
And
click it.
then it's okay. I'm sending it
I'll
here
watch.
too.
I'll watch the entire movie later. I just confirmed I do have it on digital, so I can just pull it up on my Apple TV here after.
There you go. Well, I'm
So-
sending it anyway.
Yeah, I've been sick for a bit for the past couple days, and what I really would like is for this to go away. But I'm very troubled by the fact that I just started working for the Department of Health, and then I got sick. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
So I'm gonna, put it out there. Like maybe it was just something that was lingering on the desk or something along those lines. And
Oh, trust.
ta-da.
On Friday, I brought in a canister of cleaning wipes and cleaned the mofo out of my office. I wiped down filing cabinets, keyboard, chairs, desktops, cabinets, back of the door handle, you name it. I spent a good half hour, 40 minutes like wiping
Is it
everything down. I was so pissed.
disinfecting?
And then I mentioned it to my boss, and my boss was like, "Well, yeah, to be fair, that office has been kind of empty for a few months, so it probably needed a cleaning." Okay.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm slowly getting like my workhouses together in order and stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like still super shitty about it.
Welcome to the Department of Health, which will immediately make you sick.
I'm not blaming that. I'm just saying that the irony is not lost on me. I probably got it from some place. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Nobody that I know of right now has these things going on. For all I know, my GI thing could be a food stuff issue. I don't know. I just don't know. But hopefully things will be improving and all that jazz, So that's this month has been preparing and going into that. So in all transparency, I've known since before Christmas I was probably getting this position. It had been verbally offered to me, but I had to wait till the first of the year to get the official letter, and then I had to get all my clearances done because that's a government job. And they got to make sure like you ain't got shit on your record, or explain this shit on your record. So
What was
yeah,
this where you got arrested in a truck stop?
nay, no girl. That clearances
It was something about a bathroom?
Do not misunderstand. Clearances do not include close calls, only prosecutions. I will get Foxbear on the line to help explain this to y'all if you don't understand. Don't be messing.
It's just me being silly.
No, I know, but I just want everyone to understand. Like, close calls do not count.
welcome to the DOH. You now have a cold.
Awesome.
Says it.
If it was just this, yes, I could kind of say that, but I'm so worn out and tired. Like, I was with my dad. I was supposed to do things with him this weekend, and we didn't really do much. And he was like, "You okay?" I was like, "No." I'm like, "I'm sick." He talked to me today. I swear to heaven, it took me 2 minutes to make a full sentence. I could not get the words out right, and I got madder and madder the more I tried to talk.
Okay. Hey,
So, there's that.
yeah. Hey, should we move on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Enough of talking about me.
Let's talk about our feedback. Fair use sound click. They'll probably tag us. Don't worry, we don't get in trouble for those. Go to copyright claims. That's all. Anyways, Gary, what's been going on over in the Facebooks?
So Facebook share we got from Edward Angelini Cook. Imagine that. It was regarding COL540, which was just a week ago, the Landscape of Relationships Part 2. He said, here is the most recent episode of Comes Out Loud where I had the pleasure of guest hosting.
Yay.
3 months in a row.
He's becoming a regular.
Yay.
I mean, I wouldn't call him a fuck buddy because that's not really what he is to the three of us as co-hosts. But I don't know. Is there an equivalency for like a repeat guest? What?
Listen to you. He's not a fuck buddy.
That
All right.
reminds
Well,
me
for
of
the record,
something
I don't know about the two of you, but I ain't getting laid in this transactional situation. So I just made David spit up. Nice. Moving right along. We did get to
remind
Facebook.
me about him after we get off.
But I'm bumped.
Didn't mean the
Facebook
pun,
likes. Moving on. So we want to thank Tubbs Butler and Will Wilson for liking us on Facebook. I wonder who those people are. I know both of them, actually, oddly.
Oh.
Because, well, both y'all know who the first one is.
Yep.
Then we also got a comment on a post regarding COL535, the Santa Fantasy. Jay Yospa, my apologies, said a couple of observations. Not growing up Christian, I could be wrong, but I think in the song I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, Santa in this instance isn't the real Santa, but how kids see Santa, which isn't their dad in costume. So mom isn't Polly, she's kissing her husband in his Santa suit. After all, dad, parenthesis, and mom, in parenthesis, are ones really putting the presents under the tree. And then he writes, in parenthesis, parenthetical, I hope I'm not shocking anyone with this revelation. Also, for movie Santas, it's tough to beat ex-pro wrestler Goldberg as Santa in Santa's Slay, which is Slay. A fun but silly horror movie worth, if nothing else, watching the first scene from. Okay.
Okay, now I'm curious. Okay. I don't... Interesting observation.
Not a horror movie fan, so...
Right.
I don't usually watch those.
So you are correct, Jay, and like I believe I was the one that was talking about like how maybe they were in an open poly relationship because she was busy kissing Santa. Yes, technically, in the concept of the song, the audience who are adults probably understand that Santa is actually like one of Santa's helpers who happens to be the parent in disguise, and the child does not understand that in the lyrics. However, I don't think that's kind of what we were coming from. At least I don't remember. Because I think we've all been, I think in the course of the subject matter of the topic, we were talking about him as like an actual entity who is not being portrayed by somebody else. So that's where I think that came from. Instagram follower.
Plus the previous show he was on was Landscape of Relationships. So it was just kind of connecting the two shows.
That's true. And then an Instagram follower is Growling Grooming. Followed us.
Oh, yay. I know them.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yay.
All right. Mr. Damon, tell us about you.
Lord, y'all.
Time to go to work.
Oh, okay. Good thing I looked at this.
Stretching. Cracks knuckles.
Totally did look at this. All right. So, first of all, on YouTube, we got a new subscriber, Dewan Felipe Esparza Mendez. Welcome.
Yay.
On YouTube comments, so starting with COL418, Handsome versus Sexy. Birdie Birdface said, David hit the nail on the head. Handsome could mean physically, quotations, physically, but are wow, and I want to know more, unquote. Sexy could mean, quote, you're hot, let's fuck, end quote, at least for me. Cool. On COL450, Gay Genetics, Birdie Birdface again commented and said, interesting show. Being a gay man has not been as easy as most of my hetero friends. Society made it seem wrong, so there was shame, guilt attached to my younger self. Where I see science stepping in would be parents choosing to alter genetic code to avoid homosexual children. For me, the question is, because there is not anything wrong with this, why changes us? Oh, interesting.
By the way,
concept.
I think somebody was binging our shows.
Yeah.
That's entirely possible. So on COL 531, which was what's going on for December, Birdie Birdface. Did I say 530? Whatever. 537. Whatever. They'll see it they'll see it on the thing. Anyway, Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for all your hard work. Cheers. Thank you, Birdie Birdface. On COL541, gaming characters, Birdie Birdface was commented and is tagged the 1 hour, 19 minute, 53 second mark. Gary spoke about AI. If AI is to be close to us humans as possible, could AI develop sexuality, gender roles, etc., then evolve to develop the need to bond with other AI and eventually form hetero, gay, bi, etc. AI? Such orientation is a fundamental component of our identity, so AI may need this too? Question. As far as gaming is concerned, for me, I'm gay and not bothered if my avatar is trans biscuit, so long as I can achieve my goal completing the objective. Okay.
I don't understand trans biscuit.
I don't know what a trans
I'm not
biscuit is.
exactly sure.
So,
I don't know if he's really referring to the fact like one of his characters in game is female while he's male. That sort of thing.
No. I
could be
I'm
wrong,
fine with that.
but-
I'm just confused about the term trans biscuit.
Yeah, I
So,
know. That's what I'm trying to define.
Maybe you can give us a clue on
I
that.
could be wrong. Yeah.
Anyway,
Clarification, please.
yeah. COL 538 2019 year in review. Birdie Brayface replied, "Another great podcast video, guys, especially Gary's piece towards the end of the show. Comparison is a thief of joy. No one I've known has ever had it all worked out. I believe there is no harm in the admiration of another, but be cautious when comparing yourself to them. I hope you guys fulfill your plans for 2020. Chin chin." Aw, thank you. Then, almost done, guys. 2 more. On COL 472, which was taking compliments, Bertface replied, "All 3 of you are pretty fucking awesome. Take that as you will." And it's FXXKING, but I'm going ahead and saying it because we don't need a censor.
We are not.
And then on COL 471, which was Where is the Body episode, Birdie Bertface replied, "Not sure anyone is completely fine with their bodies, but it is what it is. It makes me sad to hear about anyone feeling shame towards themselves. My first crush/awakening happened during gym class. I am medium build. He was the big kid in the class/school. Absolutely gorgeous person inside and out. We were friends, but I always wanted desperately to tell what he truly meant to me. I am certain many larger men are not aware of their secret admirers, but I wish for this to change so we can all enjoy ourselves and each other." Here.
Man. I will say this. I think there are a great many men who are not aware of how they are viewed by others. And I think that's probably because people don't know how they'll react, like especially men telling other men, if they don't know them, like if they're a stranger or someone they see in passing, but they don't really know them very well, they're not sure like how to gauge giving them a compliment. And by compliment, I mean like a legitimate compliment, like, "Hey, I think you're a nice looking guy," or whatever, or "That's a nice beard," or something, which is not an explicit, like, "I want to suck your dick because I think you're hot." Like, that could be inferred in some way, maybe, but that's, I think that we have such a problem, like, not only just taking compliments in general, but also, like, men and being complimented and appreciated and, like, told that, that they are, positive, like, in the admiration area. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know one of the things I've tried to do every once in a while, if there's someone that I see on like Growler or on other sites, if I find something about them that I like attractive, especially, even though I know there's no chance in hell like we're ever going to get together, meaning like they live too far away, or I personally, and this is, me personally feeling like I'm not really in their league kind of thing, I'm going to comment. I'm going to compliment. I'm going to I will say that, like, I think like, "Wow, you look really great." Or those are some really pretty eyes, or something along those lines. And because you never know how that might impact someone, hopefully in a positive way. You know, they could be feeling down about themselves because for one reason or another. And just that random comment from some total stranger might be a little thing to pick them up. Who knows? I don't know what to call that, but that's kind of something I've been doing in the past few months, because it's something that I think I got a compliment from someone randomly, and I really needed it that day. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works.
Moving on to our Twitter followers, we have 5 new ones. We've got Alberto 00688-251, Riptide Drunk, Pepe Pepito 87, September Renegade, RNGADE, and Dominus Prime. I think that's how you pronounce it. Gary. Flash is back for the month.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I told you I'm not feeling well. So for recent shows, COL537, we had a What's Going On December 2019 at the end of the month. We did a year in review at the top of the month, like we previously mentioned. And then we did another part of our series, What Is Partying? Which actually I thought was a pretty good discussion about different concepts of like what partying can be. And then we did, as we previously said, had Mr. Edward Angelini Cook come back, the lovely gentleman who's on the pursuit of his PhD. And we did part 2 of the landscape of relationships. And we're probably going to have 1 or 2 more in the series with him, just specifically related to that. So look forward to that in the coming month or 2.
Yeah. And as I've said before, he's one of my favorite guests to have on. Not just because he puts stuff in notes. Just saying. Anyways. Time for another copyright claim. So mine's not really porny at all, but it's adorable.
Okay.
It's Mr. Square Bear himself. Just took a picture at the beginning of the year. Literally, this was from January 1st. Happy New Year, feeling like a real mess. And he's got his shirt up over his belly. He's just in underwear, just lying on the couch snoozing. With TV remotes by him.
Oh, I did retweet this one. I was like, just got to get a retweet here in a second if I didn't already.
Because he's fucking adorable.
He is.
Aww. That belly is so just tired, begging to be slept on.
I know, right?
That belly is begging for a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beard, that like perfectly cropped beard.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing too much clothes, but other than that, it's fine.
You get the gist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I like that. I like
things
like.
Off.
Uh-huh. But I won't, unless he wants me to.
Yeah. I mean, consent, of course.
Yes. Oh my God. But he is so freaking cute. Like, and I remember seeing that picture and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. Like, that's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very good to see him. Mm-hmm.
Should make it a wallpaper. Anyways. Damon, you overachiever, what do you got?
Oh, it's just a couple. So if you've been watching or following like Instagram and YouTube and not YouTube, but Facebook and Twitter, there's been what's called the Dolly Parton challenge. And my first one is from the Joser, who I've been following for quite a while actually, and he's a super cute guy. And he did the meme. It's the Dolly Parton challenge. How it's essentially like 4 random pictures, and it's usually like Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, and then like something else. And it's been going. I mean, it's been going around for quite a while this month, and I just thought, he's a very handsome man, and these are some very fun pictures. So there's this one. And then my other one is pretty much the same thing, but it's instead of like a random person, it's actually Brian Sims, Mr. Brian Sims. Is he? Oh gosh, he's a. Yeah. Anyway,
he's a state representative in my lovely Keystone state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's
he
right.
happens to be in the opposite corner of where I reside. He does have a boyfriend. He has a gorgeous, big, huge dog. There is not much about this man that you cannot love, including the fact that he did this goddamn challenge and what the last panel says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was
Growler.
like, hold up. A lot of them say Tinder. This mofo went ahead and just put Growler.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is you on the market? Like on the market, like for fun? Cause Brian, you in danger, girl.
You know, it's a social app, so it doesn't necessarily mean.
That's true. Speaking of which, we should really have a topic show discussion about Growler.
No.
Because some shit just hit the fan this past week.
All I gotta say
Y'all.
is,
holy,
Lord.
holy, holy.
I'll introduce the show and let you guys talk.
Anyway, yeah. So, thank you to Joser and thank you to Brian Sims for that fun Dolly Parton challenge meme that has been going on. That I just think it's really fun. I've seen other people doing it online and it's kind of fun. So yay. Gary.
All right, so mine may not necessarily be a surprise to some of you, but if you hadn't already heard, months ago, and I don't remember when it was, I talked about Arrested Movement, which was the pictorial project that was being done by a gentleman who's from Canada, who is fucking gorgeous. Not that matters, but Anthony Manieri? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He started a couple years ago, back in 2016, he took this iconic photo of a gentleman who's from England that I used to follow on Twitter, which I just realized I don't remember seeing his pictures recently, but they did a photo shoot together, and he started this whole actually, he didn't start it. He has a great explanation of the story about how he had done this one photo and it went like viral on social media, and consequently since then it became this like worldwide sensation. And so he started traveling around and doing like photography projects like in different cities. People that I know have been involved in it, and the whole point of it is to like just show men who are not model perfect, quote unquote, in their natural state. So it's not meant to be a titillating, page turning type of book, but it's lots of men, lots of bigger men with curves, men who have like body issues. And so Arrested Movement is going to have a book, and the Kickstarter is next month in February. So, don't know any details about it just yet, but so I've been following his Twitter account and the stuff that he's doing. And if you want to see some of the photos that are expected to be in the book, if you follow the Twitter and you actually open the images, because most of them are cropped, you can see like the full image, and it's pretty amazing. Some of the photos that are in there. So yeah, it's pretty damn amazing. Like, I'm very happy about the fact that they're going to have a book that comes out. So
I'm super happy about it too. it's a very, I mean, it's obviously, a very positive, experience and movement to be going on. And I'm sure, depending on when the book, what's going to happen in regards to the Kickstarter, I think it'll be amazing. It's got so much popularity so far already. And his images are so beautiful. Good God.
I know he does really, really amazing work. And Anthony has opened up and talked about the fact that he's struggled with his own body image and being accepted as like a gay man or even being a bear. And so, of course, the community, for the most part, to my knowledge, has really like opened up and welcomed him and is highly, highly supportive. So, yeah, it's pretty cool what's come out of that. So, yay.
Moving on into the links, my link is actually to a trailer, but it's really just for the show that it's a trailer of. It is Star Wars Rebels, which is on Disney Plus. So if you've heard of Star Wars Clone Wars and what's currently airing Star Wars Resistance, this is the series that happens between those two. And this takes place during the beginning of the rebellion, and we have cameos. I'm just gonna say that, not necessarily character cameos, not necessarily voice act or people who originally played them in live action necessarily voice them, but They do connect Clone Wars and Rebels. So it's one cohesive story, but that's what they've been trying to do this whole time at Disney. Is making sure they have a good continuity. And
Interesting.
I've been binging this. Once I'm done with Rebels, obviously, I'm going to go into Resistance. So here's one of the reasons to get Disney Plus. I mean, there's more to it. I've watched some of The Mandalorian. I've only gotten up to episode 5, but I think I'm gonna finish Rebels and maybe go back to Mandalorian.
So what I find interesting is, like, I have Disney Plus. I was kind of sold on it. Like, I wasn't sold on it because of the movie, like, archive thing. Once I saw all the stuff that was going to be included and knowing that the new property stuff was probably exclusively going to go there for a little while, I was like, ooh, that's very tempting. And it's pretty cost effective. It's not like real expensive for the amount of stuff that you get. But I'm still surprised to this day by the number of people, the lay people in the public that talk about, like, I don't know if it's any good. I haven't gotten it. And I'm just like, it's fucking Disney. Like, how could you not like see the value in it? But I think people just aren't aware of all the properties that Disney owns and all the content that's in it, let alone some of the original stuff.
And keep in mind that they don't just have Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. They also have Nat Geo. So there's a lot of National Geographic content on there. So
and if you're a sports person, you can get a package with ESPN and Disney Plus
and Hulu
as a whole package together. So
like I'm still going to be on the fence for a little while. And it's not that I don't want to. It's just a matter of like trying to build it into the life that I already like
budgetary.
Do I have time to sit? Yeah.
I mean, you already have so many things you haven't watched.
Yeah. Like there's so much shit. And guess what? Some of it's already is now on Disney Plus. So like a lot of the Marvel movies are now on Disney Plus. So it's been like, do I get it or do I just like pay for the rentals of the movies? And I'm kind of on the fence about that. Anyway, there's that.
There you go.
So for me, my link this week is actually for the Gamer Pups. We've had actually Pup Cruise on the show before. So he and one of his partner, or they and one of their partners, Pup Hachi, do a Twitch feed where they're playing video games and such. And they've actually reached out to us and me to talk to you guys about maybe having them on the show to discuss things. So that might be something to do as a potential future topic. But one of the things they did mention is that they're going to be doing some streaming while they are at NAB this weekend or in February. So just kind of throwing it out there. They're always, it's always good to support some fun, interesting folks. So there you go. Yeah. And Cruz, they've been on the show. Like I said, they've been on the show in the past, and Hachi was actually one of my fellow contestants in the Cincinnati Puppy Contest. So they're great guys, and I'm happy to support them in any way that I can. So putting them out into the Cubs Out Loud ether, and maybe putting them in for a potential future show. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good to have them on. So they're actually streaming right now while we're recording live. So if you click the link,
there you go.
If you click the link and go through.
No, they're not.
Huh?
They're hosting somebody else.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah, there's a banner right across the top that says hosting and who they're hosting.
Just goes to show what I know as an old fart. Anyways.
They're currently hosting Grey Wolf 37122.
Oh.
So
There, now you go.
When they're friends or someone they like watching on Twitch or something. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Gary.
I only have one thing that I've binged pretty much since the last time that we did this. AJ and the Queen is on Netflix. If you like, so let me put it this way, because if you know anything about it, you know that it's RuPaul. And so you might be thinking like, oh, it's Drag Race. It's not Drag Race. One of the better descriptions I heard of it when I thought about it was it's kind of like Tu Wong Fu meets Connie and Carla.
Oh my God.
Right. So yes, RuPaul is in it and helped like produce it, write it, did not self-direct. And it's not RuPaul like on the host on the show. So it's a very interesting insight. It's meant to be farcical. It took me till about episode 2 or 3 to realize that it's just like stupid, and not stupid bad, but stupid like silly. Like this shit would not really happen in reality, yet there are things about it that seem realistic. So it's kind of like just you have to watch it. Like it's fun. If you're into it, and if you're a RuPaul's Drag Race fan, there are a ton of cameos by Ru Girls, sprinkled throughout nearly all the episodes, here and there. So, and yeah, it's good. The ending kind of leaves it in a way that you would expect there to be a second season, a sequel, but like if anybody who understands how Netflix operates, they kind of decide that after a month after it's been posted, and they do all their calculating and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't have a second season, it's not the end, but it does leave some things unanswered only because you're kind of like, well, what about, So, but I really ended up enjoying it. Grace and Frankie, the new season is on Netflix, and I haven't had a chance to watch that. And fuck, what else is out? I mean, there's a whole bunch of things, and I'm behind. Oh, I didn't put a link. I could do it right now, though. I also bit the bullet and got CBS All Access. And
I see where you're going.
Yes, and I watched the very first episode of Star Trek Picard because it just aired on this past Thursday. They're doing it like an actual television show, meaning they're releasing an episode a week, which I think is brilliant because I'm really tired of trying to binge shit. So I will say this. I was not a fan of Next Generation. I didn't dislike it, but I did not drink the Kool-Aid. Well, right. I like where my best friend Heather, however, like that's her that's her show. For me, Voyager is my show. Like, it's a series that, like, I've been a Janeway fanatic, like, since day one, but that's probably because I
Same.
like women who are powerful. So if you don't know anything about it, like, yes, it's Star Trek, but it's Star Trek in the future? Question mark. So they haven't, like, done any weird timey-wimey stuff. Like, Jean-Luc Picard is now older. He's retired. This isn't giving anything away because it's been discussed in interviews and stuff online. He is no longer part of Starfleet. And that's part of what the first episode talks about. The show quality is so good. For the very first episode, and nearly everybody that I know that was into Star Trek was like, this is what they've been asking for. Especially after the 2 movies that were not very good for Next Gen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The one thing, I'm watching the interview, a couple of things about this, and he originally, when they went to pitch it to him, they said, look, I'll meet with you, but only so I can tell you why I'm going to say no.
Right.
And he said no at that meeting, but he also, as he was leaving, he says, everything that you just said to me, could you put that in writing? And after reading it, that's when he actually accepted it.
Yeah, and if you watch some of the interviews and stuff, it did change a bunch from, like, the original idea to the pitch to what actually got executed. If you get CBS access and you watch the show, for those of you that are really into fandom and know who Will Wheaton is, he is hosting the Ready Room, which is the after show, where he actually, after every single episode, will talk to people who were involved in the actual series Star Trek Picard. So if you're familiar with him, back on what is it, Geek and Sundry, when they had Tabletop, the gaming series.
Or
I've always
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Well, I'm thinking of more recent stuff. That's his whole in, is that he played Wesley in Next Gen. But he actually made a lovely post on Twitter recently, and I think also on Facebook, and it was great because he was like, thank you all so much for being so supportive. Like, he doesn't outright say thank you for being supportive of me doing the show for Star Trek, like the Ready Room after show, but he basically says, like, I've made a huge choice in my life to, like, be positive and be, you know, good, and to focus that way and surround myself with these type of people and to put that out into the world. And I appreciate that that's what's coming back to me right now, that people are very supportive of what I'm doing and, like, the effort that I'm putting into stuff and what, you know, I find passionate and blah, blah, blah. So I was really happy for him that he's been getting some good response to that. So that's the other thing that I ended up watching, lay down sick on the couch on Friday night. So, yeah.
You know, Patrick Stewart was doing an interview on The View.
Oh, yeah. So
and
awesome.
in that interview, he on behalf of the production staff of Star Trek Picard, he turned to Whoopi and said, will you be in season 2?
No way.
Yeah.
I missed this.
Yes. Oh, you haven't been following my Twitter. Or did I share it on my Twitter?
I saw it on Facebook.
Wait.
But...
Let me rephrase. You probably have been following my Twitter, but it probably got buried by a bunch of dick pictures. So,
I'm also not feeling well.
I know. You're fine. I'm kidding.
But in any case,
so
Whoopi...
that would be awesome to have Whoopi come back as Guinan. She has always said that she never disliked doing that. Like, she always thought that you know, that role was, like, one of the things that she's always enjoyed. I don't think she's ever really poo-pooed anything in her past. Like, if she doesn't like something that she's done and doesn't want to return to it, she just doesn't talk about it. Like, and doesn't even really discuss it if it's brought up. But she's always been a huge advocate of the Disney company, which, full disclosure, owns ABC, which has The View on it. I mean, she's always been very, very supportive. She's always done things for them over the years. You know, behind the scenes and voice work and hosting. Like, I think she does one of their annual holiday shows, just a whole bunch of stuff. And so I'm very happy to hear that Patrick kind of offered to her. And now that I think about it, everyone should have seen it coming.
Well, also Star Trek has nothing to do with Disney, but, you know, whatever.
No, it doesn't. But the fact that she had a character that was so beloved on that season or on that series as Guinan on Next Generation, it makes perfect sense that they would try to bring her in, because this whole first season is a whole ton of cameos. So like Brent Spiner's back as Data. You have to watch the series and understand how that works. And Marina Sirtis, Jonathan Frakes, like all of these other individuals that are well known are making like cameo entrance kind of like things. They're not really going to be in there. Although Jerry Ryan as 7 of 9, who was from the Voyager season or series, is in there and appears to be there for a little bit longer than the other characters, I think. So for all of you like kind of fan geek things out there. So
yeah, I think she's also cameo though. So
I've sent Gary. I sent a link to you via Telegram.
Thank you.
It's the briefest ending of the interview, but it gives you the idea of what happened.
With that, guess what, folks? That's the end.
I can go to bed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
in just a couple minutes.
Okay.
There's plenty of ways to contact us about any of this if you want some feedback, clarifications. You can do that on our website, cubsoutloud.com. Shoot us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail 60 otherwise at 361 COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255. You can follow us on our various social media outlets at Cubs Out Loud in the appropriate place of the URL. That's Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and of course on YouTube. You can also join our Entourage chat where we do things such as linking to the live show when it comes up at tinyworld.com/telegram-col. You can subscribe to our Google Calendar to find out when we do schedule these things at tinyworld.com/calendar-col. You can get various accoutrements at our merch store at zazzle.com/cubsoutloud, such as this Proud Out Loud shirt or hat that Gary's wearing. And I think you've got a sweatshirt on too. No, you got
this is not a COL sweatshirt.
But you can't get one in a similar color with the different logos on it. Again, zazzle.com/cubsoutloud. And again, if you're in another country, look for your localization for Zazzle. So zazzle.co.uk or zazzle.com.au, I think is Australia, or zazzle.de. And just /cubsoutloud at the end of the URL, and you'll still get our store, and you'll be able to buy more locally. You can also become a patron. We appreciate all the patrons who support us at patreon.com/cubsoutloud. And you can join us there for as little as $1 a month. You can also rate us on Apple Podcasts, subscribe to us on Google Play Podcasts, and Spotify. You can find me anywhere on the internet. It says Box, Poppy, Box, Cub, Box, something or other.
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79 on most bear-related sites, or as Pump_Umbra on Twitter.
Freudian slip be damned.
Apparently.
If you would like to get in touch with me online, I can pretty much found anywhere as GareBear73XXX on Twitter, specifically at the 3 X's if you want to see the other stuff that I repost from other people specifically.
Yeah. Not his own content.
I mean, they're retweeted, so they're at least linked to the original. So that's more people should be doing. Anyways, with that, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, y'all.
Because I have to say, yeah, because that's how I end all the shows. 'Cause that's my thing. I think we're all tired.
A little bit, yeah. It's just been a thing. It's a weird day. Like I felt like I had something to do today, and I thought it was the podcast. No, it wasn't the podcast. I had something else completely that I needed to do, and I didn't get it done. So I'm kind of like, fuck.
No.
Oops.
Yep. It's okay. I'll have tomorrow, but I was hoping to get it done so I can early. So I may try to work on it tonight, but I'm also really fucking tired, and the idea of spending time to do all of this.
Just think of it when they have having supporting our marquee events and working till 7, and then us having to do this starting at 9:30.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah. Do we want to talk? I don't know if we want to talk about it right now while we're live.
Yeah,
I think that
would.
I was gonna say, I think that.
Thing.
Yeah. I don't know if you got my subtle hint.
Yeah, I have to do a thing first. I need to show the
He needs to
thing,
put
so show the links and the thing and the stuff and the whatnot. But of course, I'm waiting for the preview for it to show that the thing comes up after I've done. There it is, and then I have to give it 20 seconds in order to do it. So in about 15 seconds, then I can say what I need to say. Or
oh my God!
Say in order to. I'm gonna stop streaming now.